Hello guys, it's Jenny and we're gonna read My Word School number 2. Mr. Klutz is nuts. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you. Well, we did read this. Miss Daisy is crazy, so it was number 1 and we're gonna do number 2. Chapter 1. The Flying Principal. Watch out! Somebody screamed. It was Mr. Klutz, the principal of my school, was tearing down the sidewalk on a skateboard. Wow. It was early morning, just before the school bell was about to ring. Mr. Klutz must have built up too much speed coming down the hill. He was waving in around the kids and their parents, totally out of control. Wow, he's in here. Most principals are really serious and dignified. They looked like they were born as grown-ups. Mr. Klutz, he's more like a grown-up kid. Yeah, he looks like a kid. And he's bald. Oh, he's kissing a pig. When he isn't skateboarding to school, he rides his motorcycle, his scooter, or wears inline skates. Run away, principal! Oh, sorry. Some kid shouted, "Run for your lives!" The skateboard must have hit a crack in the sidewalk, because the next thing everybody knew, Mr. Klutz was flying through the air like a superhero. Kids and their parents were diving out his way. Dogs were running all distance. Mr. Klutz crashed, landing in the bushes at the front of the school. Luckily, he was wearing a helmet, and he had knee pants and elbow pads on over his clothes. Everybody stopped for a second, because Mr. Klutz was lying in there in the bushes without moving. We weren't sure if he was alive. "Good morning, Mr. Klutz," said Mrs. Cooney, the school nurse, as she walked past. "Good morning, Mrs. Cooney," he replied. "Beautiful day, isn't it?" "Lovely." Then Mr. Klutz got up, brushed himself off, and walked up the front steps like it was totally normal for a principal to skateboard to school, like crash headfirst into bushes. Mr. Klutz is nuts. Chapter 2. Big Trouble. What? It'll be big trouble, I think. "That's the last straw, AJ," my teacher, Miss Daisy, told me. "I want you to go to the principal's office." "I didn't do anything," I protested. "My name is AJ, and I hate school." Why do we have to learn so much stuff? If you ask me, by the time you get second grade, you already know enough stuff to last in you a lifetime. School is a way average. My mom says that all 8-year-old boys have to go to school, so I guess there's nothing that I can do about it. When I grow up, I'm going to be a professional hockey player. You don't have to know how to read or write or do math to shoot a puck into a net. Actually, that's what I was doing. My teacher, Mrs. Daisy, sent me to the principal's office. You see, me and my friends Michael and Ryan were playing hockey with a tennis ball during recess. We were shooting a ball at the tree to score a goal. I shot with a wild and it landed over a bunch of girls in our class. Ouch! That hit me, shouted this girl named Annette. She was rubbing her leg like she had hit by a train or something. It was just tennis ball. Annette is such a crybaby. Wow, that's mean. Hey, AJ, Michael hollered. That's count a goal. How come? I asked. I missed the tree. Well, you just hit puck to a net. Get it? A net. A net. A net. Well, after me and Ryan got it. We thought that was just about the funniest joke in the history of the world. That's not. That's very mean. You see that? If you do, guys, just do like this. You'll go to the principal's. Okay? So don't do it. Miss Daisy didn't think that was very funny, though. She was already mad at me because I'd forgotten to bring a current event article for a third week in a narrow. That's when she said it was the last straw. I had to go to Mr. Klutz's office. Chapter 3. The principal is your pal. Sure, it meant the pal is your pal. Principal is like the king of the school. He gets to tell everybody what to do and where to go. That's cool. If I don't be a professional hockey player, I will grow up and I want to be a principal so I can boss teachers around. My friend Billy from around the corner, who was in second grade last year, told me that principals have to have a dungeon down in the basement of the school where they torture kids who misbehave. I don't know if Billy's telling the truth or not, but one time we had gym class and we passed by this open door in the basement. There were kinds of scary lookings over there. Michael said he saw chains hanging from the ceiling over chairs with straps on the arms and the legs. Wow, that's creepy. So I guessed that was Mr. Klutz used to torture bad kids. I was scared. like me, I think. I had never been to the principal's office before. On the way there, I stopped into the boys' bathroom. Maybe I could dig a tunnel out the school and escape. I thought my belly told me he saw that in a war movie once. Those guys dig their way out of prison camp with a spoon. I didn't have a spoon. I didn't have to touch the floor of the bathroom. Anyway, yuck. Yeah, that's yucky. When I got to Mr. Klutz's office, he has secretary made me sit in a chair for about a million hours. Mr. Klutz's door was closed a while time. I wondered if he was throwing some other kids. I didn't hear any screams or anything. Finally, the secretary said I can go inside. I opened the door and it was surprised Mr. Klutz was hanging upside down from a bar near the ceiling. He had on boots that were attached by a big bar. "What are you doing up there?" I asked. "Oh, just hanging around," Mr. Klutz said as he pulled himself out the boots and jumped down into the floor. When the blood rushes into my head, it helps me think. Well, I know that blood rushing to your head doesn't help you grow hair because Mr. Klutz has no hair at all. He was bald as a balloon and clean. Mr. Klutz's office looked pretty much like my dad's office, except he has big snowboarding poster on the wall, and he has football table around the corner. Oh, he also had a punching bag with a face on it. Come think of it, didn't look like anything like my dad's office. I kept my head down when he told me to take a seat, so he would feel sorry for me. When get into trouble, always keep your head down because if grown-ups feel sorry for you, they won't punish you badly. Miss Daisy told me why you're here, Mr. Klutz said, but I'd like to hear your side of the story. Miss Daisy thinks I straw some straws, I told him. What makes you think that, AJ? Well, she was all mad at me because she said, "That's the last straw." Then she told me to go to your office. I swear I didn't take any straws. I don't even know where she keeps the straws. I see, Mr. Klutz said, rubbing his chin. I thought it had something to do with a hockey game that got out of control, and there's a little matter forgetting to bring current events. Well, that too. Mr. Klutz didn't look like he was going to torture me. In fact, he didn't look mad at all. You may not believe this, he told me, but I was a boy once? Just once? I asked. I'm a boy all the time. No. What I mean is I used to be young like you. I bet you were already good in school, I said. No, actually, it was just the opposite, the principal told me. I didn't like school at all, and I wasn't a very good student. Really? I figured that anybody who grew up to be a principal must have loved school as a kid. Why else would you want to hang up around in the school all day as a grown-up, except maybe the boss teachers around? When I was a boy, I could never sit still, Mr. Klutz said. I wanted to run around the time, and I didn't have the motivation to do with my schoolwork. Do you know what motivation is, AJ? It's the motor inside you that makes you want to do stuff. I said, that's why it's called motivation. I guess you could say that, Mr. Klutz said. Sometimes my mother would give me a little reward if I do a good job on my homework, a piece of candy for instead. You see, while I didn't like school, I currently like candy. So I would try hard in school in order to get candy. Does that make sense to you? Well, sure. AJ, if I were to give you some candy, would you think I might help you remember to bring your current events next time? My parents told me never take a candy from strangers, I told him. Yeah, but Mr. Klutz is a principal. I'm not a stranger, Mr. Klutz said. Did you ever hear anyone say your principal is your pal? If you need to spell the principal, you should always remember your principal is your PAL. Get it? Well, if you put it that way, I propose to take some candy. Mr. Klutz reached into his desk drawer and pulled some chocolate bar. It was the kind of marshmallow inside it and caramel. My mouth was watering. Go easily with your hockey, and let's see if you can remember to bring that current event tomorrow, he said. He said as he handed me the chocolate bar. Don't tell anyone about this, okay? It's just a little secret between you and me. Okay. I ran out to the principal. I ran out of the office just in case he had only given me a candy bar so he could tie to my chair and torture me. Chapter 4. The Present. When I got back to class, everybody looked at me. I guess they wanted to see if I was crying or bleeding or something. Did Mr. Klutz bring you down and into his torture chamber? Ryan whispered. When I sat in my seat. Nope, I said. He gave me a present. What did he give you? I can't tell you. Oh, come on. I promise I won't tell. Oh, I'll be your best friend. Well, okay, I'll show you at lunch. During lunch, I sat at a table with my best friend Ryan, Michael, Smarty Pants, Andrea, and Emily, who cries all the time, even if she's hurt or anything. You should have seen your eyes bug out when I showed them a candy bar. Where did you get that? Michael asked. Your mom usually gives you carrot sticks for dinner, dessert. Mr. Klutz gave me. I explained. He's got the whole drawer filled with them. Why did he give you a candy bar? Asked Emily. I could tell she was jealous because I didn't bring my current event, I explained. Wait a minute, Andrea said, not angry at all. You got sent to the principal's office for being bad. Instead of punishing you, he gave you a candy bar? That's not fair. I brought a 3 current event, but I didn't get any candy bar. Maybe you should try to not be so perfect all the time, I said. You should have my carrot sticks, Andrea. I love getting Andrea mad. She thinks she knows everything. Whenever we have a homework assignment, she does extra homework just to show Miss Daisy how smart she is and to make the rest of us look bad. Mr. Klutz told me he's my pal, I said, biting off my big piece of the chocolate bar. Right in front of Andrea's face, he said, I could come in for a candy bar anytime I want one. That last part wasn't actually true, but it was fun to say anyway. The principal should give a candy bar student to complete their assignments, Andrea said, not to give who don't. Yeah, Emily sniffed. She looked like she might run out the room crying like she usually do for no reason. I want to go to the principal's office, my best friend announced it. Me too, Michael agreed. I want a candy bar. All they watched while I finished up the candy. I licked extra chocolate off my fingers and rubbed like tummy, just to make sure they would know that it was good one was. Chapter 5. My Big Mouth. It just so happens that I know the perfect way to get sent to the principal's office. All you have to do is track on the teacher's chair. My friend Billy told me he did once, and he got sent to the principal's office. I waited until recess when Emily ran off the playgrounds with the girls. When I told the plan with my friend Ryan and Michael. "What a genius!" exclaimed my best friend Ryan. "What if Miss Daisy gets hurt?" asked Michael. "She won't get hurt," I told him. "She'll jump so fast that she won't hardly feel it." That's pretty hurt. It will hurt too. So as the end of recess, the three of us snuck back to our classroom. It was empty. Miss Daisy was eating in her teacher's room. Ryan pulled a tack out of the bulletin board and put on his Miss Daisy's chair. Then we ran out the playground. Just as the end of recess bell was ringing, when we filed back into the class, Ryan, Michael, and I was barely look at one another because we were afraid we'd burst out laughing. I could hardly wait to see the look on Mrs. Daisy's face when she sat on her chair. When Miss Daisy sat down, an amazing thing just happened. Nothing. She didn't jump or anything. She was just sat there. Me and Ryan and Michael looked at each other. How could she not feel that? She must have buns of steel. Ryan whispered, "She looks like a Superman." When I realized that I'd forgotten to tell Ryan something very important. When you put a tack in a teacher's chair, you're supposed to put the tack in the little bit on side. When you put in the middle of chair, the tack short off. Well, it doesn't have any touch to hit. If you know what I mean, I don't get it. Anyways, Miss Daisy got up to do math. Even realizing there was chalk on her butt. When she turned around to write on the clipboard, we could see the track was just stuck there, handing the middle of her backside. Me and Ryan and Michael thought we were going to die trying to keep our sleeves from laughing. It was probably the funniest thing in the history of the world happened. You should have been there. Excuse me, said Andrea, raised her hands, ruining everybody's fun always. Miss Daisy, I think there's something stuck on your shirt. Miss Daisy turned around and pulled the track. Who did this? She demanded. I did. Go to the principal's office. Ryan. All right. Ryan whispered, pumping his fist. I will be back in a few minutes with a candy bar. Is there anyone else who wants to go to the principal's office? Miss Daisy asked. I do, said Michael. Can I go again? Hey, I was asked first, Michael complained. Quiet, you both of you. Mrs. Daly complained. Nothing unusual happened, and she went back her lesson. But I saw look at her chair carefully before she sat down. A few moments, Ryan came back to the pencil classroom. Mr. Klutz was with him. So, did you get a candy bar? I whispered excitedly. When Ryan sat down, no, Ryan whispered back. When I told him that I thought he was giving a candy bar like he gave Lawrence a meal, he got really upset. He told me he was going to call my parents and have to come and to talk about what happened. I think we all in big trouble. Oh man, I decided what maybe it wasn't such a good idea to the best friends with Ryan anymore. I should kept my big mouth shut about the candy bar. Now this was the last. It was the I went to school too, and Mr. Klutz as nuts. By Dan Gavin, pictures by Jim Palette. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.